Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone, whichever it may be to you. My name is Juliette Honsinger, and I will be presenting the topic of skill-building sites with you today. What I will be covering today includes a practical definition of skill-building sites and its application in the classroom, as well as 4 different sites I've chosen to review, including brainpop.com, triptyco.co.uk, Prentice Hall's Social Studies Skills Tutor, and sporkle.com. At the end of my presentation, I will perform a brief demo of the site I have chosen to feature, showing a more in-depth view of how to use the site and its capabilities, and that site will be sporkle.com. So what is a skill-building site? A skill-building site is any site that you can find on the web that supplements content instruction through various online activities. In other words, any site that can be used to interact with content in supplementary ways in addition to the content provided in the classroom. Now that we've gone over the definition, let's talk about some common features of these sites. Some things that all skill-building sites have in common is that they give students control over their learning. In other words, the teacher does not have to leave the instruction while using it. And these sites provide students with some form of assessment, be it a quiz, a game, or something else that allows the student to check up on what they've learned. So why use a skill-building site? These features lead me to explain why I chose this topic and why I believe we as educators may find these tools relevant to our classroom. As I mentioned, a key component that designates an online site as a skill-building site is that it provides an assessment tool. With the adoption of the Common Core across the U.S., the goal of continual assessment and a focus on the results of learning has become so pivotal to our teaching, and these tools provide a way to make that ongoing assessment fun for students. The added bonus is that it takes a little of the burden off of the teacher to create these assessments. These sites also give students autonomy in the process. By setting up their own learning and assessment, they can easily see what content and skills they need to work on. Now that I've talked a little bit about skill-building sites and the relevance to our classrooms, I will move on to the first site I've selected to feature, which is brainpop.com. I would like to note that throughout the remainder of my presentation, I have the URL address of each of the sites I am reviewing listed at the bottom of the page so that you can review the site I am discussing at the same time if you so please. BrainPop is a site that has been featured in an article we read as a class on Web 2.0 presentation tools. This site provides modules, quizzes, videos, and other resources on a wide range of subjects, including science, social studies, English, math, engineering, technology, health, arts, and music. You do not need to create a username or login to access any of the free content, which is a definite plus. The main site can also be used for grades 4 to 12, while the sister site, BrainPop Junior, focuses on K-3 topics. The site has a very user-friendly interface and takes no time at all to learn how to use it. While the site has a broad range of features, there are some pros and cons. The resources can be adapted to almost any content area, and the site also has a Spanish version as well as a version for ELLs. There are also subscriptions available for free, individual use, and school-wide. One of the features that I really like about the site is that you can look up resources based on Common Core standards, subjects, or grade level. The only downfall I really found with the site is that the free content is very limited, and the subscription packages are very expensive, ranging from $100 to $200. Even at the basic level, and that can be a major roadblock depending on your school's budget. Next tool I chose to review is Triptyco, which is a downloadable application that allows you to create different games and quizzes to review content. Some of these games are bingo, memory games, and it also has a fun timer to use. You can also combine some of these tools to create a timed game, which can be a lot of fun for students. There is a free and subscription version. To get the free version, all you need to do is provide an email and download the application. This application also has some pros and cons. Some of the positives of this tool is its simplicity. The interface has a scroll feature that looks a lot like Netflix, which your students will most likely be very familiar with already, and the application is very easy to use. You can also save the games and quizzes easily using the tools and use them again later if you really like it. Some negatives of this tool is that it doesn't really give students the ability to learn interactively outside of assessment, which a lot of other tools do, and in that way its simplicity can also be its downfall. Also, the free content is somewhat limited, and although the subscription is relatively cheap at $20 to $25, I'm not sure if the application provides much that you can't find for free elsewhere. The subscription does provide access to a data cloud to which you can save the tools you like, although I'm not sure if that's worth paying for, although that's just my personal opinion. The next site I've chosen to review is Prentice Hall's Social Studies Skills Tutor, which is offered by this publishing company as a free supplement to the text they sell to schools. This site provides modules to learn interactively about related social studies concepts. You can also take quizzes and apply that knowledge using the applications provided on the site. The topics covered include geographic literacy, visual analysis, critical thinking and reading, and also communication. There is no sign-up required, and you don't need to learn how to use the site as it's very straightforward. It's basically a regular website. It displays links and you click on them, and windows pop up based on what you've clicked on. Some pros and cons of this site is that it allows students to learn about various topics in lesson formats, assess their learning, and apply it all in one site. The site also has levels for each topic, which can give students a goal to work towards, which I really like. And finally, the site has an area where students can work on topics specifically geared towards social studies and literacy, which is so important to the Common Core and makes that very applicable to our classroom. The only big drawbacks are that the content is pretty limited and only related to social studies, although it is pretty diverse within the targeted subject area. Also, the site's appearance is a little dated, which might be a drawback to get students excited about using it. It's not terribly obvious that it's a little dated, but it's not as fun and flashy as other tools. The final tool I'll be introducing to you today is Sporkle, and that's also the tool I've chosen to demo for you in a few minutes. What this site is a place where students can browse through endless amounts of quizzes and puzzles by subject area, mostly related to the humanities and pop culture. One of the reasons I really like this tool is that it combines some social media elements. Users can create and upload content to the site, you can challenge other users, and share it and follow the site on social media, including Twitter, Google+, Reddit, and Facebook. These features make the site very interactive, engaging, competitive, and really innovative in how you can use the site with others. The only real downsides of the site is that there is not as much as on there geared towards science and math, and it is not specifically designed to be used in schools. Another drawback is that there are ads, but it doesn't really inhibit using the site. This time I'm going to move on to my demo of this site, Sporkle.com. I'm going to show you the basic features of the site and briefly show you one of the quizzes and how it works. As you can see here on the left, if you click on Games, it provides you all the examples of how you can choose your desired quiz or game by difficulty, favorites, length, and also you can see down here how this site has combined social media with the website, as you can also look up games by tags. Up here at the top, you can look at different categories of quizzes and games from which you can choose. There are kind of a pretty wide variety, although there isn't one for math. I'm going to just take you down the site. You can see how different ways in which the website is organized. You can share with Twitter, Google+, and Facebook. It also combines the Reddit style way of looking up information in that it has trends. There's also just some fun random information on the site. You can view things by popularity, most popular of all time. And you can also download Sporkle.com as an app for your Android or iPhone. Also on the top right of the website, you can see how you can challenge others to the game. All you do is you create a login and with a username, click on Challenges, and when you go to this screen you will be able to see where those challenges are. So that's kind of a fun and interactive way to compete with others. I'm just going to show you briefly one of the quizzes that you can do. It's the most popular of all time, which is the US states. Just log in very quickly. I'm going to press play game. This is just kind of a fun geography quiz you can do in pretty much any class. And You can see that it's really an interactive website. You can see the answers that it puts in right on the screen for you. It's just a fun little way to memorize the U.S. states. I'm not going to go through the whole 10 minutes, but you can see how that quiz might be useful to you in your classroom. That completes my demonstration and my presentation. Thanks so much for watching today. Hope you learned something that you might be able to apply to your own classroom. Have a great day. Bye.